Interests vary enormously between interests in natural history, interests in structure, interests in architecture, interests in art, and I guess I don't necessarily try to distinguish between those different disciplines. In fact, I like the idea of merging, the consideration for the aesthetics of being a sculptor, how you approach problems as a sculptor, and simultaneously how one might approach problems as an architect. There's no question my interests are focused on how one affects people's experience of space. I mean, that's the fundamental idea, and that can be done in many different ways. And working with light, of course, you're somewhat free of a lot of the materiality that you associate with architecture or sculpture in a formal sense. I think that oftentimes people approach light in relationship to architecture is that the light is a means by which the architecture is revealed, and the architecture is basically defined by the way light enters the space. I tend to think of it actually, I think, just from the opposite direction, where the light itself is what informs the architecture. The architecture is in service of light rather than the other way around. We all have a history of experiencing something in nature where light was a very significant component of that memory. And as we live in cities or more urban environments, I really feel there needs to be a way to bring that quality of nature into an urban environment. It's not going to be exactly the same thing, certainly, but in the same way that you might pause, when you're in nature and just say, that's amazing. I mean, this is like an extraordinary experience. You want that same type of feeling to occur, in our built environment. And I think that's I guess, where the idea of naturalist is, associated with my work, because it is about trying to understand the nature of light in a very fundamental way and how you can reframe it, reposition it, and have people experience it, in a different way. I think of light as information, and when I say information, I mean, everything that we take in visually, all this sort of textural information and everything that's around us, we sort of interpret the world around us through light, really. And all these images that we maintain in memory, the way we sort of picture memory, it's all sort of captured through light. So light actually, for me, has this very, very deep sort of layering of information that we need to understand how you can sort of uncover that information. How do you sort of decode this, decode that? How do you reposition it? How do you construct